So now we're going to cover our vaults, dynamic pools, two different types that we have. So we are looking at, we go out to app.meteor.ag. That is the homepage here. And we are going to first go up here and talk about the vaults. So I'm going to more and then vaults, dynamic vaults. Now we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on these. I'm covering it for a very specific reason, and you'll understand why in a minute. There's only a few tokens in here. We can see USDC, USDT, SOL, these things. You can deposit money into these and earn some yield. The APY on them is not really the best. There's other places that you could deposit this and make more, but the dynamic vaults, it's used lending in these other protocols such as Camino and Save and so on, so forth, Soul Lend, it's used out there. So, but deposits are very simple. You put money in, you withdraw. That's all there is to it. Like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it, but I'm going to show you why just here in a second, why that's important. I'm going to go to the DAMM V1. This is the first iteration of the automated market maker, and there are a lot of different tokens in here where you'll notice there's only one pool for each pair. Okay, there's a lot of information here. It tells you if it's a volatile pool, a meme pool, if it's a stable or liquid staking token, anything that has the little Meteor logo on it, that pool was created by Meteor itself. And so anyway, you have up here, you can search by contract address, you can search by token names, you can have it suggest pools based on tokens that you already have in your wallet. And of course, you can also tell it, show me verified tokens only. And that means Jupiter verified tokens. So if it's unverified, you know, some fresh meme, and you don't want to look at any of those, then check that box and then it'll do that for you. The DAMM V1 is not used very much anymore, but it's still, I'm going to show you how it works. And I'm going to open this one right here, the Sol Jito Sol. It's created by Meteora. We see the TVL, the total value locked. That's how much is in this pool in total. We see our two tokens, and you'll notice that they are not 50-50. There is a percentage here. So there's 63% of Jito Sol and 36% of SOL. You can hover over this button, copy the contract address, go check it on Rug Check Bubble Maps. These are safety tools we will talk about more in depth tomorrow. But here we see the current pool price, the virtual price, which is a complicated thing to explain. And if you want to know more about it, it's in the Meteor documentation. I believe I've linked it in the bootcamp resources. What you need to know is that if this number is above 1, that's a good thing. If it's below 1, it is a bad thing. Okay. So we see our 24-hour volume. This is how much volume has come through this pool in the last 24 hours. We have our 24-hour fee. This is how much in fees this pool is generated for the liquidity providers in the last 24 hours. Now we also see here the 24-hour yield. What is that? Well, the DAMM V1, if the tokens, either one of the tokens in the pool is also found in one of those dynamic, if it's found in the dynamic vaults, then you are earning lending yield. So this is being used in those vaults as well without you needing to deposit over there. And so you're earning lending yield in addition to fees. We'll see our liquidity provider fee. This is the rate. That's the fee amount that you're earning on here. So this is 0.01%. There is the protocol fee, and that is on this one, the Meteor created pools, it's 0%. I'll show you a different one here in a minute. There's also something called the AMP. That's another extremely complicated thing. If you want to know more about it, it's in the documentation. I am not going to go into it. We have links to pool charts that take you directly for this pair down here. And if you want to make a deposit here, you have to have both tokens. If you don't, if you want to put in just one of these tokens, say you don't want to buy it, and you'll see a little warning that it recommends that you don't do that. But I'm just going to say put in 0.01 SOL in here just for giggles. We'll see what happens whenever I make that deposit. Now I made the deposit and I've got $1.42 in this pool. And whenever you deposit it into the DAMM V1, it's going to generate and put into your wallet something called an LP token. Don't burn that or you will lose your money. We will see here, I want to go withdraw. I click, and we will see that I have a little bit of SOL and a little bit of Jito SOL. So what it did whenever I put in only SOL is it converted some of my SOL into Jito SOL to match the ratio here. Okay. One important thing to know about the DAMM V1 is that the fees and yield are automatically compounded back into the pool. So you can't see exactly how many fees you've earned. The way you know what you've made off of this is you need to basically write down and record somewhere how much you deposited, and then later how much you can withdraw, and you'll know whether or not you're in profit or loss with that. That's how that works. There is a swap function here. This swap function will swap tokens only within this pool. Now, there's a little warning here. It's telling you potentially you could get better prices on Jupiter. And this is something that we recommend. Generally speaking, you'll get the best price if you go swap on Jupiter itself. So yeah, but I'm going to go and withdraw the maximum amount from here, get my money back. Now I'm going to show you one that is slightly different. I'm going to go into this one, this mag. This is some kind of meme. We can see some warnings on this. This one is not too dangerous. This comes from Rug Check. It's just basically saying this is a new token. There is this one right here, high supply concentration. The top 10 holders own more than 80% of the total supply. That's a little sketchy. I'm not going to deposit in this one, but you'll see here that this pool actually has something called the dynamic fee. The dynamic fee is triggered off of volatility. We get talking more into that when we are talking about the DLMM, but if a token is volatile, then it'll trigger a dynamic fee, which helps offset any losses. It helps to offset losses. Here, the protocol fee is 20% of the dynamic fee. That is the amount that Meteora is taking off of that. So 20% of that dynamic fee, they take that cut to cover overhead, what have you. We also see something different on this one, the burn option. This is, if you use this burn option, you're basically locking your liquidity into this pool forever. You can never withdraw it, but you can claim fees off of it forever. This is really only used by token creators to just they lock the liquidity. It builds trust. I don't recommend that you do this unless you are a token creator. Don't burn your liquidity. It's bad time.